Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Revelation chapter 19, verses 11 through 12, 14 through 16. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Elohim. And he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Adonai of Adonai.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Ride On, King Yahshua.
No man can The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim, for Yahshua's sake, has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. One of the parts in this morning's song, no man is going to hinder me. We're not hindered because other people have more strength than us. We are hindered because we relinquish our power to people who we want to be admired by. That ends up causing us a lot of issues. And when it goes right down to it, that means we then begin to bury our talents in the sand. We won't use those talents against people who we want to be admired by. And in doing so, we are not dealing correctly with the things that our Elohim has given us. Now, it is written that whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall blood be shed. Why then, when Moshe killed a man and disposed of the body in the sand, no word of judgment was ever spoken against him concerning this act? When this act was committed, he had no official title among the people and had not been spoken to at all by the Most High Elohim. To the naked eye, this was a murderous act committed by Moshe. The question is, how did Yahweh classify this action committed by Moshe? Let's begin today's sermon in Acts chapter 7. Acts chapter 7, and we're going to start that at verse 1. And today's sermon is entitled, A Ruler and a Judge. We have a part where we will accept a ruler. Our problem is we don't want to accept a judge. That's where we want to cross the line. We will say all of the things about the lion of the tribe of Judah. That's the king part. See, remember, Israel was the one that stood by and said, give us a king like all the other nations. So we're fine with the king part. What we have a problem with is the judgment part of it. Acts chapter 7, and let's start that at verse 1.
Then said the high priest, are these things so? And he said, men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The Elohim of glory appeared unto our father Abraham, when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Canaan, and said unto him, get you out of your country and from your kindred, and come into the land which I shall show you. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land where you now dwell.
So he's then giving the rundown of the history of certain events. Sometimes you can't adequately understand what's happening because you didn't have a breakdown of how we got to this point. So this is a breakdown of how we got right here. Go ahead.
And he gave him non-inheritance in it. No, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. And Elohim spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years.
We'd have to, first of all, understand something. The children of Israel were never in Egypt 400 years. They ended up being in one part of Egypt about 200 years, and then when they dealt with the 430, they're dealing with that and Canaan put together, which gave the 430 years. He said 400 years. The children of Israel, up to that point of Acts, had not gone through a 400-year captivity. This is the very first thing that we have to understand. Because if you don't understand that, you're going to allow some people in the land to claim that they were a part of the Egyptian captivity, so this has been fulfilled. Egyptian captivity wasn't 400 years. So we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, even the last part, it said into bondage. And to treat them evil for 400 years. That's bondage for 400 years. They weren't in bondage for 400 years in Egypt. Not even for 430.
No. That you have to read and go into this book, and you find out it's putting both of those together, because he's talking about suffering under the Hamites, that they had been on their total 430 years, which still don't give you 400. That means he would have to be 30 years off in saying what this is. We still have a problem. No matter how you look at it, you have a problem. Now, we can go and read the same thing from the Old Testament, but I can tell you there's some people that are not going to want to accept that if we read it from there. So we're going to read it from the New Testament, and they still ain't going to want to accept it. But they're going to have to answer to the Elohim for that one. Go ahead.
And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said Elohim.
All right. So then some countries should be deep off in bondage right now if the children of Israel were in bondage to these people, and then they came out and got the land. That nation should have been destroyed. Where's Germany at every meeting of the big wigs? Why are they still in power? That's rather interesting. Go ahead.
And after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begot Esau, and circumcised him the 8th day. And Esau begot Jacob, and Jacob begot the 12 patriarchs. And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but Elohim was with him, and delivered him, out of all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house.
We think that when we have favor, it means that we're not going to go through anything. Favor was he went through it, and Yahweh still kept orchestrating his success no matter what bad situation he found himself in. We will get into the bad situation and believe that we're not blessed because of the situation. We haven't even let the situation go on long enough to see Yahweh in it. He all in it. Go ahead.
Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction, and our fathers found no sustenance. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And at the second time Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. Then sent Joseph, and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 75 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt, and died, he and our fathers, and were carried over into Sychem, and laid in the grave that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. But when the time of the promise drew near, which Elohim had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt. Till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. The same dealt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live.
The same thing is happening to us now. They're dealing subtly with us, and our children are casting themselves away from every part of culture that we have. They are dealing very slickly with us, and we falling for every trick. Go ahead.
In which time Moshe was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up, and nourished him for her own son. And Moshe was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds.
You know, one thing that the Bible never really discusses, the trouble that these people have gone through losing their children. Now imagine it tells you about the story of Moshe. It don't talk about what the mama had to feel to put her baby in the water and push him off. There's not even a discussion. Not one word about it. But then this bad situation is going to turn into the creating of a deliverer for their people. But look how long they got to wait. We can't wait long enough to see if anything is even for our good or not. Here it is. The baby's put in the body of water. We crying so much, we done made our own body of water. We come over and say, man, I thought it was one river here. It's 2 of them. We done cried a new one. That go our Savior right now. Our Messiah is about to get trained. But all we see is what we go through. Go ahead.
And when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel.
Why did it come in? It's time to work. School is over. You done learned everything that I needed you to learn. Now it's time to clock in, boy. Now this is just one level of the clock in. You've learned everything that I need for you to know about the heathen. Now you are full in age, and now I'm going to give you a charge. Go ahead.
And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him, and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that Elohim by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not.
Right. Now, for 39 years, he hadn't tried to go and execute anything concerning the children of Israel. Once he get 40 years old, he sees it, and it bothers him, and he goes and handle that business. Yahweh had already put the spirit of being the avenger of the wrong of Israel on his heart. He don't know why. He has no title. He has not been anointed anything. It is in his heart. Go ahead.
And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying,
Now, everybody know, after you done killed somebody, you lay low. You don't just go right back in the same area. Hey, man, what y'all doing? Why y'all doing this to one another? No. Common sense said, don't go back over there. But he got something that was placed on him that he doesn't even understand. He goes right back in the same area where he just buried a man and does the same thing again. He can't help it. It's in it. See, when something on you, you can wash it off. When it's in you, it's going to come at you. Go ahead.
well, then it says, and he would have set them at one again.
Uh-huh.
It's already divided, trying to put the stick back
There
together.
you go. There you go. He is on his savior complex right now. He don't even know he had one. His savior complex is taking over. He's trying to mend fences where people don't want the fences to be mended. Go ahead.
Saying, Sirs, your brethren, why do you wrong one to another? But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust them away, saying,
Now, take note of which one said the raggedy stuff. Him that did his neighbor wrong. Not the one who was done wrong, but the one who doing the wrong. This is the one who got the statement. Go ahead.
Who made you a ruler and a judge over us?
Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? These are some strong words. But even when Yahweh allowing people to condemn you, he will turn around and use those condemning words and rebuild you with the words that they use to condemn you. Go ahead.
Will you kill me as you did the Egyptian yesterday?
Uh-huh.
Then fled Moshe at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons.
All right, so he was then a stranger in Midian. He heard they knew about this. He had to take off running. All right, this was an immediate relocation of Moshe. All right, how long you think it would have took to relocate Moshe if Yahweh would have showed up at the burning bush and said, my son, this is the God of your people. I need you to run out and leave Egypt and go in the wood. Nah, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I must have ate too many fish and leeks, and I must have food poisoning. Something is going. I'm delusional. It must be them shrooms. I should have never put them mushrooms on that. I should have never done it. Now he's got to have the same thing over to even believe that it's real. But I tell you what. When you in danger of getting locked up and killed, you don't really worry about packing. So he knows how to make him move immediately. See, we may not like Yahweh's methods, but his methods work. He got him to relocate immediately. He didn't have to have no town hall meeting. See, sometimes when we got to do something, we got to have a meeting for a meeting against a meeting. We meet just to say when we gonna meet. Now this went down immediately. Go ahead.
And when 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Adonai in a flame of fire in a bush.
Man, we want our payment in 40 minutes. Here we talking about the deliverer of Yahweh's people. He waits till he's 40 to give him his feeling in his heart of what he is to do. Then he got to go and get trained in the wilderness for another 40 years. We all complaining about it. My life is gone. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm 80. Ain't nobody looking at no 80-year-old man. That's what I'm going to do. We too busy crying. Go ahead.
When Moshe saw it, he wondered at the sight. And as he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Adonai came on to him, saying, I am the Elohim of your fathers, the El of Abraham, and the El of Esaac, and the El of Jacob. Then Moshe trembled, and durst not behold. Then said the Adonai to him, Put off your shoes from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I've seen the affliction of my people which is in Egypt, and I've heard their groaning, and am come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send you into Egypt. This Moshe, whom they refused, saying, Who made you a ruler and a judge? The same did Elohim send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush.
So automatically, and check it out. How does the angel go right back to the saying? So he's getting appeared to 40 years later after this event. But they know about those words. Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? His clue to what he was going to be was actually in the demeaning words that were said to him. You ever heard somebody say, you think you all that? No, that was your clue. Either you all that or you about to be all that. They was telling you wasn't listening. Go ahead.
He brought them out after that he had showed them wonders and signs in the land of Egypt, and in the Red Sea, and in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moshe, which said unto the children of Israel, A prophet shall the Adonai your Elohim raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me.
Like unto me.
Him shall you hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, Make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moshe, which brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what is become of him. And they made a calf in those days, and offered sacrifice unto the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hands. Then Elohim turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is.
Elohim turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven. There's one part where Yahweh tries to get us to conform. Then there's that part where he stepped back and said, you know what, go ahead. Matter of fact, look at those group of stars. Don't that look like a monkey? Why don't y'all worship the monkey in the sky then? There it is. Say, no, this is what you asked for? Go ahead, I'm getting to you. And then what happened when we asked for a king? He told us what we were going to get. We still said nay. But we will be just like all the other nations. All right? King coming up. Go ahead.
As it is written in the book of the prophets, O you house of Israel, have you offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Yes, you took up the tabernacle of Moloch, and the star of your god Remphan, figures which you made to worship them, and I'll carry you away beyond Babylon. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moshe that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen, which also our fathers that came after brought in with Yahshua into the possession of the Gentiles.
Now we know that it's talking about Joshua, but we have to ask ourselves in verse 45, how did they make a mistake and put Jesus right now? When they're talking about this history, the very next leader after Moshe. This lets you know that everywhere they seen Joshua or Yahshua, they took it out and put Jesus. And they did it too many times. This is your clue that they changed it. Go ahead.
Whom Elohim drave out before the face of our fathers unto the days of Dawid, who found favor before Elohim and desired to find a tabernacle for the El of Jacob.
All right, that's as far as I want to go right there. Let's go to Exodus chapter 7. So there's a lot that the New Testament says concerning the Mashiach. But we have a tendency to only want to deal with bits and pieces of that. Exodus chapter 7, and I want you to read verses 1 through 7.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, See, I have made you a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet.
Stop. They asked, now this is the children of Israel asking, who made you a ruler and a judge? Yahweh says, I have made you a god to Pharaoh. And Aaron, your brother, shall be your prophet. Now, when you understand what that dynamic is, Yahweh just said, all right, Moshe, I wrote a script. You gonna be me. And I'm gonna make your brother your prophet. So, like I send y'all out, you gonna send him out. You declare, and he talk for you. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. People love to think that they are going directly to the Most High. Look at the situation that he set up. You are going to be a God. Your brother is your prophet. So who's doing the talking? Aaron. Whenever we deal with something, we just want to deal directly with that entity, and then we don't want to accept that we're dealing with that entity if we don't deal with it face to face. That's why everybody got to claim that they heard from God last night. Even in this, he set forth an order. Pharaoh don't even worship his culture. And he sent order. You gonna be a god, but your brother is gonna be the prophet. He sent forth order even in dealing with a heathen. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, you got to think about it. With Moshe being a god unto the people, a god unto Pharaoh. At one point, and being in the presence of Yahweh so much, the people couldn't even stand before Moshe.
Right. They felt uncomfortable. He got to cover himself. What happened? There was a veil in between the Holy of Holies. All right. Moshe spends so much time with Yahweh, he's changing. They don't feel right. Why? A veil has to come in between him and them. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 2, You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And now harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt.
Wait a minute. If Yahweh sends you to do a job, and then he tells you that he's not going to listen to you, most of us have already stopped the job. Well, if you're sending me to talk to him, but he's not going to listen, if I don't go, I still did the job. Now, you don't go, you're going to die. See, our problem is we don't understand the objective. And when we don't understand the objective, we don't think the job qualifies for our full power and strength of our ability. There's some of us that you got to trick us. He couldn't even say that to some of us. Go and do this, but they ain't going to listen. Oh, come on. We done already tainted the work, because now we're not going to try, because we already been told he wasn't going to listen. Go ahead.
And bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them, so did they. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh.
And Yahweh has these men doing this in their old age. See, if he'd have sent 2 40-year-olds in there, they would have said, and people would have said, how strong is Moses? It'd have been a whole nother song. Aaron, his thousands, and Moses, his 10,000s. Because it would have been given and attributed to their physical strength. We keep saying, I want to do something in my strength. And Yahweh is waiting until you ain't as strong as you used to be. That way he know the glory going to be his. Because people going to be, people who know you going to be like, wait a minute. Now, back in the days, he ran a 440. Now he run like a 1840. He ain't physically did that. Oh, Yahweh had to be with him. That's what he wants. See, when you can do it, you going to get the glory. No. No, he want them to know you can't do it. Send an 80 and an 83-year-old in there and tell them, let my people go. Hold on, old man. Hold on, bro. You saying a lot for somebody 80. You walking in here with some demands. Okay. You finished that, brother?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Numbers chapter 12. It would have seemed as though when he came into the age of 40, that Yahweh would have called him then. See, the calling happened in stages. But if we don't get our calling and our anointing right away, we walking around, woe is me. What if Moshe had walked around for 40 years, woe is me? Woe is me. And now he's like, hello. I don't know what I'm going to do. I had to leave Egypt. That's a long time to be moping. Only to find out it was Yahweh's plan the whole time. Go ahead.
Even when you look at the age, a lot of us would be discouraged at that age, but he was still apt to learn and apt to be taught at 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's stuff what we say. I'm a grown man, dog. Oh, folks can tell you in a minute, I'm a grown man. We'll do everything like a child and still talking about I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. Don't talk to me like that. You see my blinky? Right. Numbers chapter 12. Let's start at verse 1.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moshe because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
They didn't even consider that he had spent his entire life with foreigners. We spend our life amongst our own people, and then we still think we have the same leeway as other people. Count how long Moshe lived amongst his people. 40 years in Pharaoh's house. 40 years in the wilderness with the Midianites. He has never lived amongst his people, and none of it was his choice. He didn't choose to be put in that basket and floated in the water. And whether you know it or not, he didn't choose to murder that man and put him in the sand. That was that avenger spirit that was put in him. Because now, as he goes into Egypt, Yahweh finna make him do all of those things on a grand scale. So if that one thing was a problem, a whole bunch of people finna die at the mouth of Moshe now. Go ahead.
And they said, has Yahweh indeed spoken only by Moshe? Has he not spoken also by us? And Yahweh heard it. Now the man Moshe was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moshe, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, Come out, you three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moshe is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
Wait a minute. So what did Yahweh just say? This is how I talk to prophets in dreams and visions. He said, I'm not dealing with Moshe like that. Wait a minute. What was said before? You're going to be a god. Aaron is going to be a prophet. He said, I ain't talking to you in dreams. No. Me and you sit down and let's talk. No. Come sit down right before me and let's talk. Me and you not having no dreams and visions. No, he's reestablishing where Moshe sits. Go ahead.
With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe?
And anybody I talk to face, you better watch your mouth. I don't care, that's your brother. Go ahead.
And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And, behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
Now, understand what that means. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. The spirit left. Understand what happened. Yahweh is angry. So he moves his spirit because they spoke against his servant. The cloud just didn't move. No, the cloud moved because now the spirit has been given a pause. It never does come to our mind that we could say something to cause the spirit to go away from us. And the spirit didn't just go away from them that said it. The spirit has been set aside from all of them. Go ahead.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said to Moshe, Alas, my master, I beseech you, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
And Aaron said to Moshe, why he said to Yahweh? Aaron making his supplication to Moshe. He making his supplication to his younger brother. Go ahead.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. And Moshe cried unto Yahweh.
Wait a minute. You shall be a god. Aaron shall be your prophet. The prophet went to Moshe. Moshe then go to Yahweh. The order's clear. Go ahead.
And Moshe cried unto Yahweh, saying, Heal her now, O Elohim, I beseech you. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
Right. He wasn't trying to harm her. What he's trying to do is teach her a lesson. Yes, he could heal her, but no, she need to learn. Let's go to Judges chapter 2. See, we'll accept certain parts about the power of Elohim. There's other parts that we don't want to have nothing to do with. Judges chapter 2, and let's read verses 11 through 19.
And all the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and served Baalim. And they forsook the Adonai Elohim, or Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed after other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoke Yahweh to anger.
Right. And we do that in various ways. We see other people's culture. We start merging it with ours. We start taking hold of all these other things. And now before you know it, we won't call it that we're into idol worship. But is it really about what we call it? It's about how your Elohim sees it. Go ahead.
And they forsook Yahweh and served Baal and Ashtaroth. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Whithersoever they went out, the hand of Yahweh was against them for evil, as Yahweh had said, and as Yahweh had sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, Yahweh raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them.
Now, the thing that you're going to encounter that people have the most problem with, anytime something is spoken, they said, you know what I'm saying, don't be judging me. The way Israel gets out of their captivity is because of a judge. We are famous for saying things. Only God can judge me. So anybody else, we have a problem when anything is said. So we don't understand this situation of the judges. These judges is what brought forth our freedom. And the same people that will speak against judgment will also say, oh, you're dealing with that law, you're dealing with that bondage. And what's funny, they rebuke judgment, which means they're going to stay in bondage. Because the judge is how you get out. Go ahead.
And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a-whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of Yahweh, but they did not so. And when Yahweh raised them up judges, then Yahweh was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented Yahweh because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them.
So when Yahweh raised up the judge, he was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemy. What slick move it was of the devil to make us hate judgment. And every part of your deliverance is connected to judgment. People will say and men, don't be judging me. The judge is the deliverer. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers.
Wait a minute. No judge? Back in captivity. And we have been taught to hate judgment. This has to be a trick of the devil. So that you are utterly repulsed by the thought of your freedom. Go ahead.
And following other gods to serve them, and to bow down unto them. They cease not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way.
All right, let's go to Exodus chapter 18. The devil did a good one right there. That one was slick. That one was slick. We have a whole book of Judges. 430 years that he goes completely back and forth. Each one of those judges are messiahs. They deliver the children of Israel. This is why we're the only group of people who's waiting on the Messiah. But if you just start this book in the middle, You think that it's Christianity that introduced this deliverer. This whole part of a savior is throughout the course of this holy story. There's not this one deliverer that shows up in the New Testament. Yahweh has done this over and over again. Exodus chapter 18, and let's start at verse 15.
And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of Elohim. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them to know the statutes of Elohim and his laws. And Moshe's father-in-law said unto him, the thing that you doeth is not good. You will surely wear away, both you and this people that is with you, for this thing is too heavy for you. You art not able to perform it yourself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give you counsel, and Elohim shall be with you. Hear you for the people, the Elohim word, that you may bring the causes unto Elohim. And you shall teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fair Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tenths. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto you, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for yourself, and they shall bear the burden with you. If you shall do this thing, and Elohim command you so, then you shall be able to endure, and all the people shall also go to their place in peace.
Now, when you look at this, a system was set up of governance. The small matters will go to this group. When it cannot be settled there, it then goes to Moshe. So what we have is a lower court and we have a Supreme Court. You don't get to take everything to the Supreme Court just because you know a judge. Once they look at your case and said, okay, all right, this is what happened. So what did they say in the lower circuit court? Well, I didn't go there because I knew you. All right, that nice to see you again. But look here, take that back down and go to those lower courts. Go to those individuals because this is a small matter. Now, if they can't handle the small matter, then you come to Moshe. Yahweh set up a system. See, this is the part of judgment. Judgment has order. You don't just jump in and out of order. The order has order. Keep going. I tell you what, let's go to Numbers chapter 27. Numbers 27, and I want you to read verses 1 through 8.
Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah, Noah, and Haglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moshe, and before Eleazar the priest, and before the princes and all the congregation, by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying,
Now, why do they get to stand before Moshe to present their legal cause? This should go to the small circuits first. Well, wait a minute. What they're asking, there is no law. It cannot be handled by the small circuit. It cannot be handled by anybody else. There is no precedence because there is no law for it. Go ahead.
Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against Yahweh in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin and had no sons. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he has no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Moshe brought their cause before Yahweh. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. You shall surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and you shall cause the inheritance of their father to pass on to them. And you shall speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass on to his daughter.
So what you have, they brought the case unto Moshe, verse 5. And Moshe brought their cause before Yahweh. He couldn't rule on it either. There's no precedence for this. Yahweh had to then direct him. What they request is right. Well, no law for it. But there's order in how those things were brought forth. But in doing so, they also let him know, all right, those women can't. We also got to establish something about marriage. Because if a woman marries outside of her tribe, she has transferred every bit of that power to whoever she was married to. Why? Because he and her then become one. He is the head. That man now owns all the property that used to be her father's. Eventually, the brothers come up to this and say, well, wait a minute, now we got a problem. If y'all get him land and they just go and marry anybody, then the land that was in our tribe is going to go out into other places and go out from us. Then it had to be said, okay, you're right. So there's an amendment for an amendment. You're right. So they must marry from the sons of their father from within that tribe. Otherwise, that property transfers. We don't think like that. Go and look at some of those old English movies and see. They didn't marry for love. They married for property and power rights. We the only ones walking out here talking about, I'm in love. And they sitting there like, I'm about to get your house. I'm about to get that land. And that. We ain't even counting. Go ahead, Bree.
Well, it also goes to show the importance of righteous dialogue. Because, this credence passed down, and they could have even, oh, man, this that BS, man, and that, man. They don't even write that, and complain amongst, and there would have never been an amendment.
Right. But see, we hadn't been that deep slaves yet. See, that's a slavery part where you argue amongst yourselves, but never to anybody of authority. That's why we're so comfortable moping. Because that's what slaves had to do. A slave couldn't go and say no grievance against. Master, they beating us too bad out there. Really? Give me the whip.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right. We learned to shut up. Now we still got that slave mentality. We argue to one another about all the potholes in the road. The Carroll County Transportation right down the street, they got an address, a website, and a phone number. We don't tell them about the big hole in the street. The hole's so big it looked like a baby swimming pool in the middle of the street. People hit the hole and come up and go airborne. We just argue with each other. Did you hit that hole right over there? Yep, me too. Tow up my car. All right, which one of y'all called it in? Well, I don't be calling it in. Right. Well, shut up. Keep repairing your car. That's the mentality of a slave. We only argue to one another. Go ahead.
That was it, verse 8.
Let's go to Numbers chapter 35. And we're going to start that at verse 9.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When you be come over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which kills any persons at unawares. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not, until he stand before the congregation of judgment.
So you have to be saved from the avenger. See, that Egyptian didn't know that Moshe was given the heart of the avenger of Israel. He didn't know he needed to be saved from Moshe. Go ahead.
And of these cities which you shall give 6 cities shall you have for refuge. You shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan, and 3 cities shall you give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that kills any persons unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him that has an instrument of iron, so that he die, and if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death.
All right, the murderer does not get to go to the city of refuge. But people who killed by accident, they have to go. Why? Because there's automatically a feeling to avenge which is in the family of the deceased. Now that's rather interesting. That is in us so strong, even amongst these 12 tribes of Israel. This system is so strong that Yahweh has appointed cities. We've been told something wrong with us. Wait a minute, man. Yahweh made these cities a refuge. They say, if you accidentally kill somebody, you better be worried about their family. You need to go somewhere else. Interesting. Go ahead.
And if he smite him with throwing a stone, where he may die, and he die, he's a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with an hand weapon of wood, wherewith he may die, and he dies, he's a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meets him, he shall slay him.
Now, this is what's interesting. It says all of these things in verse 18. If he does these, he's a murderer. You know, the revenger of blood shall slay the murderer, but he's not a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is interesting. Now, let's rewind. Moshe murders a man, hides him in the sand. Starting question, why is he not a murderer? It's like Prego, it's hidden there. It's hidden there. You just got to know where to look. It's in there. Go ahead.
You know, if you look at the whole thing and follow it back, then Midian became his city of refuge. But when it was time to go back, what he said, the people that seek your life are dead.
Uh-huh.
So the revenger of blood is dead. You can go back now.
Uh-huh. Yahweh has always operated by his law. We just didn't understand it. There's some things that happen in your life, and you're going to look back and figure, so that's why I had to go. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die, he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meets him.
Here we go again. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer. It does not say the revenger of blood shall murder the murderer, because the revenger of blood is not a murderer. This is scary. Because Yahweh gets to attribute his law when he wants to. That's his will. So how many things might we be looking at in the eyes of one thing, and Yahweh is looking at it in the eyes of something else? If we saw a story on the news would we account every person who killed and say they are a murderer cut and dry? That's what it says. We keep reading about this other entity here. This slayer, this revenger. What do we think Yeshua's coming back to do? Okay. All right, we're getting there. Keep going.
You know, Elder, you also talk about how strong this is in us, you know, and we'll be the first somebody do us wrong, or our family members. Our first thing, hey, bro, don't let me see you.
Yeah. We speak law and don't even know we're speaking it. Don't let me see you. And there are certain things that we can stay out of trouble as long as we don't see it. We don't even know. That's the culture talking through you. Go ahead.
But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or if cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him, that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood, according to these judgments. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whether he was fled, and he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whether he was fled, and the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood.
Wait a minute. He shall not be guilty. Yahweh had already appointed something on Moshe without telling Moshe or anybody else. Go ahead.
Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge unto the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoso kills any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death. But he shall be surely put to death.
Yeah, he shall surely be put to death if he's a murderer. So then we have to understand what that means then. Because we have been given a cut and dry system here in the daughter of Babylon. But you know that cut and dry system only applied to us. It didn't apply to other individuals. This is why all they had to do is accuse us of doing something. They arrested the person. By that next morning, they was either hanging in the cell or outside hanging in the front of the jail. How they get out that cell? To be hung outside. The revengers of their blood came even when the person wasn't guilty. This ain't just strong in us. This is strong in people. How do you think whole cities got burnt down? They claim something happened to a Gentile. Before you know it, they came and burnt down the whole black city. They were avenging wrong that never happened. And the people who spread the rumors knew that it never happened. But they knew at the end of all of this murder, they're going to end up with their houses. Go ahead, brother, you finish that?
And you shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the high priest. But you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood, it defiles the land.
Blood defiles the land. Go ahead.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
All right. How much blood has been shed in Israel right now, today, at this point? Now, the question is, If Yahweh doesn't deem that holy, then whoever shed the blood must shed their blood to cleanse the land that has been defiled because of their doings. I didn't make the book, I'm just reading it. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 39. You know, it's funny. We'll jump into things that makes no good business sense when our emotions are in it. If somebody said they was going to sell us this car and it was only $5,000, but we looked and that car had $15,000 worth of profit, we would say, this just does not make good business sense. But if somebody say, you know, this car used to belong to your uncle and he loved you, now we've attached emotion to the bad business decision. Now we've been to spend $15,000 on a $5,000 car because it used to be our uncle's. This is the equivalent of what we do. Yahweh shows you that he's going to deal in judgment with the people who have dealt wrong with us. What do? Go and get in covenant with them people. What do you think you finna have to deal with? When judgment come to them, it's going to come to you too. Why? Because you entered into covenant with them. It was not a good business decision. He done told you he coming. Not a good business decision. But when you add emotion to business, you're bound to fail. Let's go, where we at?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 39, and I'll start at verse 14.
They shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any sees a man's bones, then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon-Gog. And also the name of the city shall be Hamona. Thus shall they cleanse the land. And you, son of man, thus says the Adonai Elohim, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field. Assemble yourselves and come. Gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that you may eat flesh and drink blood.
So this great slaughter is being a sacrifice. Sometimes we're looking at one thing, but it's really something else. See, what we have to think, how does Yahweh see a thing? Not how I see it, not how you see it. How does he see it? He says, oh, this is going to be a great sacrifice. Y'all come so you can clean up all of this that's about to be sacrificed. Go ahead.
You shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, and of goats, of bullocks, all of them, fatlings of Bashan. And you shall eat fat till you be full, and drink blood till you be drunken, of my sacrifices which I have sacrificed for you. Thus you shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, says the Adonai Elohim. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim, from that day and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their lawlessness, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore, thus says the Adonai Elohim, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name.
And a lot of these things, as you start, you get to the other part of destruction, you then keep running into and then I'm going to restore the children of Israel. This is the common story throughout this book from prophet to prophet. After these traumatic events, I'm going to restore the children of Israel. We have a problem because there's individuals that claim to be restored, but the events haven't happened yet. Go ahead.
After that, they have borne their shame and all their trespasses where they have trespassed against me, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands.
Our problem is we don't know that we dwell amongst our enemies. We try to make friends with everybody. We think that everybody that smiles at us is our friend. You don't even know you dwell in your enemy's land. Yahweh said it was your enemy's land. Why? Because they're going to constantly try to get you to go against his culture. That is your enemy. Just because they're trying to get you to go away from it by smiling, that does not make them a friend. Go ahead.
And am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations. Then shall they know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them onto their own land, and have left none of them any more there.
Right. How do you make some people appreciate what you have given them? How do you make them appreciate a land? Make them go to every other land and get mistreated. We keep thinking that we need something more. No. He already gave you paradise. You already had it. Now you need to learn how to appreciate paradise. Once you then learn how to appreciate paradise, he can give you paradise back. But not until you learn how to be appreciative. Not until you learn how to take care of paradise. You can't walk down the streets of gold and then you're going to throw down old beer cans. Go ahead.
Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, says the Adonai Elohim.
All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 20. Revelation chapter 20, and we're going to read verses 1 through 15.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahshua, and for the word of Elohim, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahshua 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
Why is this not the push on Sunday morning? Why is it not the push on Sunday morning to plan to live and reign with Christ 1,000 years? Why is that not the teaching? Why the Sunday morning push going to heaven? How can you say you love something so much that you going the way it's coming out of? If he is coming here to live and reign 1,000 years, why would you want to go somewhere else but still claim that you love it? Okay. Go ahead.
Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such, the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of Elohim and of Yahshua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Right. After the 1,000 years, he is then released. Okay, go ahead.
And shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city. And fire came down from Elohim out of heaven, and devoured them.
You know what's funny? When you start going into Gog and Magog, you start coming up with Tubal and Meshach. You find out that that's Russia. You keep on doing a little research, and you find out the people who are in the land and where they come from. Oh, they come from right around in that place originally in Russia. That's rather interesting. That is right. You end up with Rosh. Rosh is Russia. That is very interesting. Go ahead.
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was open.
Now, you know, this is why people don't want to deal with this, because we want to deal with Christ as the King of Kings. We want to deal with him as a ruler, but we don't want to deal with him as a judge. The ruler is the kingly part. The judgment is the priestly part. Now we understand why Sunday morning has a problem with the priesthood. They have no problem with the king. This is historically us. Give us a king that we may be like all the other nations. We're fine with the king part. We have a problem with the priest part of it, because there lies the judgment. But then your judgment is also your deliverance. Go ahead.
Which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books.
Maybe this is why we don't hear that. That was never preached on Sunday morning, because we don't want to deal with any judgment. And if you can just zip-tang go off into heaven, then you won't have to deal with having to answer for your dealings. So this is why, you know what I'm saying, we've been taught that we're gonna pass by Yahshua. We're gonna throw up the deuces. We're gonna be going up, and he gonna be coming down. Hey, what's up, neighbor? Take care of your business down now. We gone. Something wrong with this. Go ahead.
According to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them.
Your works are your doings, the things that you have done. What did you do? It says the books were open. Those books contain our deeds. And who do they think this is? Who is this entity here? This judgment that's gonna happen. How do we claim to love the Father and the Son, but don't want any part of the events that bring forth our true freedom? Go ahead.
And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and the grave was cast into the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 18. Let's start at verse 15. I just want to get a few things. Deuteronomy 18 and verse 15.
Yahweh your Elohim will raise up unto a prophet from the midst of you, of your brethren, like unto me, unto him shall you hearken.
Now, remember, it was already told how he's dealing with Moshe. He's dealing with him face to face. All right? He was able to deal with Moshe face to face. The spirit of Yahweh radiated onto Moshe. He did not receive his instructions in dreams and visions like any other prophet. He was above that. So when he says that Yahweh is going to raise up one like me from your brethren, he ain't going to be regular. Something has to be different. What happened? Moshe was not buried. Something happened different. Okay, go ahead.
You know, from the onset of the journey, it was a face-to-face, starting at the burning bush.
Right.
According to all that you desires of Yahweh your Elohim in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have all spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto you, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
In other words, you ask for a mediator. You shall forever deal with a mediator. We think we get so holy that we can move the mediator out the way. No. The mediator became a part of the foundation because of what our forefathers asked for. You ain't going to bypass the mediator. But now, we so tripped out, we then going to take the mediator and elevate the mediator to the point where now we don't need to deal with the creator. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
All right, that's as far as I want to go there. Let's go to Revelation chapter 5. So we automatically know that there has to be something different about this next servant that he's going to call. Revelation chapter 5, and let's start that at verse 1.
And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor on earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders says unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, you are worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for you were slain and has redeemed us to Elohim by the blood out of every kindred, by your blood, out of every kindred, and tongue, and people, and nation, and has made us unto our Elohim kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast, and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands.
Now, how is it that Sunday morning will deal with the Lion of the tribe of Judah because they're fine with the King of Kings part, okay? But then there's this next part of judgment, of priesthood. All of a sudden, they clock back out when we start getting into that. And then when you say the statement, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, he made a specific ethnic statement. That's from a specific tribe that this individual will come from. And people say, well, it don't matter what he looked like. Well, why he had to come from the tribe of Judah? Why can't he just been the lion from the earth? He could have been a lion from the earth. But he didn't pick a lion from the earth. He picked it from a specific ethnic group of people. He did that by saying Judah. We just think it's cool to put Lion of the tribe of Judah on our shirt. That's a cool shirt to us. We don't understand the power and the authority that goes along with that. Go ahead.
Saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sits upon the throne, and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshiped him that lives forever and ever.
Now, when you deal with the delusion of what things we want to deal with, I was taking my kids bowling, and we went to a place, and I know when I'm about to get approached, because of course, you know, I got my kufi on, and there's some Muslim-looking guys that keep looking over there. I said, all right, well, let me see how long it's going to take before they show up. And you can tell that they look Middle Eastern, right? So I'm waiting, you know, so after a while, I first get a, you know, I say, yeah, all right. So I nod back. I say, all right, well, we getting down. We getting close. We getting close here. So sooner or later, they gonna come up. And there you know, I turned around, and he was already in my face. He was standing there. He was waiting. I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it. He tells me, you know, I'm Egyptian. I say, you Egyptian? Nah. I said, you know, so, you know, there was the inner chuckle that happened right there. I was like, no, you're not Egyptian. You're one of those people that moved into to Egypt. You are an Egyptian by living there, not an Egyptian by ancestry. The man then decided to tell me Egypt was in Asia. I said, damn, I've seen a lot of maps. You know how strong your delusion, and he looked at me straight face. No, part of Egypt may be in Africa, but it's Asia. And so Egypt is Asia. So Egypt is boy, that's delusion right there, boy. Africa is a continent. All right. So now you gonna tell me that Egypt is in Asia? Right. You see, this is why, as these individuals, these Middle Easterns came in, which the term Middle Eastern don't exist, it's a made-up term. They then start putting chemicals on the paintings so they can brighten up the skin of the paintings on the pyramids so that they can appear like it's them. But you keep having problems when it's time to put those cornrows in there. You're going to actually need corns in a row to get your hair like that. You ain't from that, bro. No. These people jet black. See, I know what ham means. No, man. But the delusion. See, this is where everybody in this group, in this area, have agreed to certain parts of a lie. And none of them will completely out the other one because it's going to tell on their lie. Now, the one thing me and the Egyptian agreed on, those people in the land of Zionists, they are not, I said, you know, and I made no issue saying my people are the true Jews. He didn't know what to do right there. He didn't know what it was more like a control alt delete. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how. So at this point, I'm testing how far I can go. I want to see, because I done already heard that Egypt was in Asia. I said, ain't no need. We can go to infinity and beyond. I'm about to do Buzz Lightyear at this point, because now we done moved Egypt basically to another continent. Egypt ain't even here no more. It is gone. At this point, I want to see just how deep this delusion goes. When I had a conversation before, I ran into an individual, and they said, I'm Palestinian. I said, oh, this going to go good. Similar type things. They will agree that the people in the land are Zionists, but they will not go and admit that you are those people. I said, wait a minute, man. This book says that the true children of Israel will be spread across the globe, that they would be in captivity. The book never spoke about any gas chambers. It never spoke about any other thing. It spoke about captivity and slavery. That's what the book spoke of from the beginning to the end of it. And in the end, he said he's going to remove them, go and get them from all those places. The Egyptians stop talking when I go there. They don't know. They don't have a reply for that. Here's when you get the control alt delete again. And then I just gotta, well, we're still brothers. We're still brothers. I wasn't gonna leave him hanging. I said, go ahead, man. Put it right there. Go ahead, put it right there. I turn it a little bit so it won't be straight. There you go. Yeah, there it is. Because I'm not gonna pounce on him. You know what I'm saying? I could have just, got on my phone and said, now here's a map of Africa. Now show me where Asia is again. I could have done that, but no, come on. He knew. I saw the look in his eyes when he said it was in Asia. I said, what? You can tell he wasn't committed to it. He stepped back a little bit. I was like, don't do it, stop. Don't do it. Just let him go. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to bash him all the way. Let's go to Genesis chapter 49. But it's amazing the lengths that people will go to keep the things that they have taken. See, covetousness is one thing. When you have had something, the longer you get to keep something that don't belong to you, the worse off you're going to be. Because you start making stories that don't make any sense so that you can keep the things that you have acquired. And you have to understand the bad position that these people are in. They have acquired things that their forefathers stole. So they have had these things for generations. They'll never make it theirs. And let's just go ahead and let's tell the truth, shame the devil. Half of these houses that we have, they're built on stolen land. That was stolen from them so-called Indians. That ain't our land. We trying our best to keep something that never was yours. They killed them people to take this land. And then they'll name it after them. After they kill all of them, they'll name it. Name your subdivision, Cherokee Village. Yeah, that's where they killed the Cherokees at. And then we be talking, yes, I have a nice estate over in the Cherokee Village. Right. Your house built right on top of his grave. And you can't figure out why Yahweh finna come deal with this place. Right. Okay. Genesis chapter 49, let's start at verse 1.
And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, you sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water.
Dignity and power, but crazy as kitty litter. Okay. Some folks just ain't willing to be honest about their church. Some folks just don't want to be honest. This was not such a man. Go ahead.
You shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not you into their secret, onto their assembly, mine honor. Be not you united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
He says, I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. What do them crazy people who came up with the tribal chart do? Put the same people right beside each other. They didn't even read before they made that dumb tribe chart. You should have known not to put them right beside each other. That's the first thing Yahweh said, that they can't be with amongst each other because people die. Go ahead.
Yehuda, you are he whom your brethren shall praise. Your hands shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Yehuda is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you are gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
The scepter is what a king has. So, Yahweh had already said from where the king was going to come from. The kings were already going to come from Judah. Go ahead.
Binding his foal onto the vine, and his ass's colt onto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Go to verse 10. It says, the scepter, which is the staff of rulership, shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. We're okay dealing with the part of the king. We have a problem dealing with the judgment that's going to come with that law. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 7. Let's start that at verse 1.
For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High Elohim, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness, and after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of Elohim, abides a priest continually. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoils. And verily they that are of the sons of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham. But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he receives them, of whom it is witness that he lives. And as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priesthood should rise after the order of Melchizedek, and not be called after the order of Aaron? For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
For the priesthood being changed, not the priesthood being done away with. But Sunday morning does not want to accept the priesthood because then you have to deal with judgment. So they will deal with the part of the Lion of the tribe of Judah as a king. They're fine with the crown. It's the other part of what he brings. Understand, if he's made after the order of Melchizedek, then he has double-fold powers. He's a king and a priest. How is it that you only want to acknowledge the kingship, but not his priestly position? And if he is a priest, then understand what those disciples were. They are the under priests. If he's the high priest, they are under priests. But we don't want to deal with that. We like the term disciple because we're too afraid to deal with any judgment. Go ahead.
For he of whom these things are spoken pertains to another tribe, of which no man gave attendance at the altar. For it is evident that our Adonai sprang out of Yehuda, out of which tribe Moshe spake nothing concerning priesthood.
So we are directly talking about Yeshua coming out of the tribe of Judah and becoming a priest. And he already came out of the tribe where the kings were. So he is being put in the stead of Melchizedek. Why is it we only like to deal with, this is what you hear all the time, King of Kings? All right, let's deal with that priesthood aspect too, though. Why we don't want to deal with that part? Go ahead.
And it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there arise another priest, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. For he testifies, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
You are a priest forever after order of Melchizedek. How is it that you never hear priest Yeshua? They tell you, they say king. They will not acknowledge his priestly position. Go ahead.
For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before for the weakness of the unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which we draw near unto Elohim. And in as so much as not without an oath he was made priest. For those priests were made without an oath. But this with an oath by him that said unto him, that may swear and will not repent. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. By so much was Yahshua made a surety of a better testament. And they truly were many priests, because they were not suffered to continue by reason of death. But this man, because he continues ever, has an unchangeable priesthood. Wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto Elohim by him, seeing he ever lives to make intercession for them. For such an high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens.
It's going deeply in to establish that Yeshua is not only a priest, but the high priest. Who would benefit from the fighting of Yeshua being high priest? Now we know from the beginning what they were angry about. They say, he that is born king of the Jews. They said, all right, go ahead and kill him. Because they didn't want to have their authority challenged. So they needed to kill him before he got any power. They were afraid of this king thing. Now, in this day and time, people will accept the king part. But we really have a problem with the priestly aspect of Christ. That is a very interesting scenario. Why is that the area of their attack?
who needs not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once, when he offered up himself. For the law makes men high priests which have infirmity, but the word of the oath, which was since the law, makes the Son, who is consecrated forevermore.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and pause right there. I have a few more bits of scripture, and I do not want to try to push through to that. It's going to kind of push us out a little bit there, and I want to go into all of it. So we'll have a part 2 on this next week, so that we can go into each part of this, because I do want to make sure that we have these parts down between dealing with this ruler and the judge. If Moshe was set forth that way, and then Yahshua was brought forth along the same setup as Moshe was, then Yahshua is also a ruler and a judge. We are fine with the ruler part. We just don't want to go through judgment, and that is a problem. But that's all that we're going to do for today. Yah's will, we'll start this back up next Sabbath day. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.